Hey guys, welcome to this Clash of the Clans farming video brought to you by App Thunder. Now I'd like to point out that this is a farming raid, so I will be showing you some techniques that I use to farm. Now first of all, I'd like to bring up my army composition. I like to use barbarians over giants because they cost a lot less. Barbarians only cost about 1/10 what giants cost, which is 2,200 for me. So for the cost of barbarians, I can spread them out thinly, and they can tank a lot of damage before dying, and I can send them in groups, which means mortars and wizard towers will have a hard time attacking a bunch of barbarians all at once because I'll spread them out thinly. So if you're raiding correctly, you only need about 40 barbarians, and also I like to get 16 wall breakers. But that's only just in case I have a stubborn wall that I need to break down and I need to spam all my wall breakers. Normally I only use about 6 because wall breakers are pretty expensive. And also goblins. Some people think that you need about half of your army to be goblins. I find that you only need about 1/4 of your army to be goblins. You'll see here that I use 44 goblins because goblins, they can take out elixir and gold storages pretty quickly. So you don't need that many, and they can get to everything in a reasonable pace before the rest of your army dies. And by using less goblins, you can build more archers. You'll see that I have most of my army being archers. This is really where my army takes out their defenses. So I use archers for DPS, and then goblins just to take out the elixirs and the gold storages. Alright, so I'm going to scan through a couple of villages that I found. Normally when I'm raiding for farming villages, I want to look for 150 to 200,000 of whatever resource that I need. In this case, I'm happy with both because I'm upgrading everything at the moment. So elixir or gold is fine. So I'm going to look for a village and wait until I get one that has about 200,000 of either resource. And once I do, I'm ready to attack. You'll also see that I have a clan castle, my barbarian king, and my archer queen. Now these can be really handy, but you don't really need them. But if you do have them, it's obviously great. So first of all, I have my clan castle troops. I believe there's 3 wizards in there, and the rest are all archers. Normally you want your clan to donate you archers. These are great for defense and attack. Now the barbarian king and queen, normally you don't want to deploy them too early on because you don't want them to take too much damage, but you want to deploy them later on so that if they do get attacked, you can withdraw from battle and their regeneration time won't be too high. Now you'll see this village, it's basically a poorly designed village because all of his walls are just clumped around the sides. He has 3 different elixir storages and 3 different gold storages. These can easily be separated with all this wall that he's not using. So this will be pretty easy for us to just attack right through here and clean up the rest of his storages. So I believe he has 100,000 gold and 200,000 elixir, and it's all clumped together. So this should be fairly easy with the troops that we have. Now he does have a clan castle, so you want to draw out his troops first with 1 barbarian and then a bunch of archers. Now you see he only has about 10 troops in there, so I'm going to draw them all the way to the back so my troops aren't taking splash damage from any mortars or wizard towers, and I'm going to finish those off before dispensing more troops. You'll notice that I dispensed archers instead of barbarians, mainly because barbarians are only used when you're getting up close and personal with the wizards and mortars. You'll see now that the wizard tower and the mortars are all attacking. This is when you want to dispense your barbarians. You also don't want to send them all at once. You'll notice that I sent them in groups because they tend to clump easily, so you want to send them in small groups where they can't clump, where the opponent can't destroy all of your units all at once. And always save a couple at the end. You'll notice that I saved 8 and 1 barbarian, just in case I need them for later. Now's a good time to deploy the Barbarian King and the Archer and the Archer Queen, because all your opponent's defenses are pretty busy attacking everything that you've already sent. So at this point, you can send them in and they won't really be targeted. Obviously the Barbarian King will be, because he's a tanking unit, but the Archer Queen hasn't been damaged at all yet. And my goblins basically finished all the work. Now I do want to point out that I withdrew from battle prematurely. You'll notice that he still had 1 storage left, but this was mainly to preserve my Archer Queen. She hasn't taken any damage this entire battle, so I can quickly use her in the next battle, which means she won't need any time to regenerate. Now the Barbarian King, that's kind of inevitable. He basically dies in every battle that you send him in if the battle gets finished, because he is a tanking unit. And lastly, I'd like to point out that I only used about 6 wall breakers. So this definitely takes down the cost, because wall breakers are mainly what costs the most of my army. They cost me about 2,500 elixir, whereas everything else cost me about 200 elixir. So by only using 6 out of 16, I save a lot on how much I actually have to pay to farm. So mainly keep in mind a lot of your troop upkeep, because if you're using dragons or P.E.K.K.A.s or anything like that, it can definitely add up, and in the end you'll find that you're actually losing elixir, and maybe you're gaining some gold, but you definitely want to save your elixir if you don't have that much. And last thing before I go, I want to point out that I am in the 1400 to 1500 trophy bracket. Now the trophy bracket does matter because if you're dealing with stronger opponents, you're probably in about 1600 and above. But if your army is pretty weak, or your archers are only level 4 or level 3, you want to go a little lower. I find that 1400 is pretty good for a town hall level 9. The resources are pretty good, the loot is pretty good, and the defenses aren't too strong. Once in a while you'll meet someone with defenses that are definitely over the top, so you want to skip those. But overall you can handle almost any defense and get to any resource reasonably. So don't forget to donate to your clans, and don't forget to ask your clan for some good troops before you leave, and train your barbarians, train your archers, train your goblins, and train a few wall breakers. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments if you think there's something that needs to be improved. I'd be happy to look at that. And don't forget to visit appthunder.net. Thanks, signing out.